Good morning, everyone, and it's Tuesday. Lovely day. And thank you, Heavenly Father, for waking me up another day. Yes, sirree. Folks, I hope and pray y'all say that every day. For real. Those of you that wake up. Those of you that's sick and laying in bed, still thank your Heavenly Father because you still open them eyes. Your heart is still beating. Even though you might be in pain, hopefully it'll be relieved sooner or later. But you always have to thank the good Almighty for waking you up in the morning. I am dead serious. And as you can see, doing my face again, grooming, this is a facial mask that I'm using. I will tell you the name of it in just a sec. Yes, sirree. And it's turmeric. You see, I bought this from Temu a little while ago. Excuse me. This is my first time using this brand, but I've used turmeric before. Sometimes I take the fresh one and I grind it up and I make it into a paste, but I'm using this now. This is for pimples, to eliminate pimples on your skin, on your face and stuff like that. Yeah, but thanks to the Express, I was just reading it, on my phone, reading about it on my phone. Folks, we all know that bananas do not last long. When you buy them, like some people buy them ripe, it's not good to buy them ripe. It's good to buy them when they're green or half green, because the riper they are, the faster they spoil. But from what I read from the Express, to keep them lasting longer, you take a piece of foil paper and you wrap it on the top of the bananas. You wrap it on the top, because the bananas, the top has some kind of ethylene gas that comes out of it. So once the banana is wrapped in the foil, not the whole banana, the top, the gas doesn't leak out that fast and the banana lasts longer. So yeah, I'm going to try that too, because I noticed the bananas, I remember when I was in Barbados, the bananas never spoiled that fast. For some reason, they lasted longer. But, over the years, the way how they plant the bananas and all this different kind of stuff they be using to spray on the fruits and all of that. Who knows? Maybe that's the reason why they don't last that long. But try wrapping it in the foil paper and see if it'll last you a little longer, because I certainly am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sharing this with y'all because I know a lot of you do not sit up and read about things. You know what I'm saying? Some of you do, but a lot of you don't. A lot of you don't. And don't tell me I'm lying, I'm wrong, because it's true. I'm not there with you to see, but it's true. A lot of people is not into reading about things anymore. You know what I'm saying? People are worried about this and worried about that and all sorts of stuff, but they don't read. Reading is fundamental, folks. You gain knowledge from reading. So maybe y'all should those that don't read, maybe y'all should get back into reading sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about love stories because a lot of folks, they love to read love stories and stuff like that, but they don't actually be reading about health or anything in general. You know what I'm saying? They'll hop on their phone and they'll be looking at pictures of this and that, but they don't read. They don't read what they should be reading. It's okay to look at pictures and read about love stories and stuff like that, because some of them that read the love stories, they try to live their life according to that, but it doesn't work. Maybe for some, but it doesn't really work. It's just a story. But yeah, reading enhances your mind, your brain. So start doing that. I'm dead serious. You don't have to be a smart aleck to read. You don't. You don't have to be someone that graduated from Princeton or went to any of them colleges, high colleges or whatever. You don't have to have a degree to know how to read, to learn how to read or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And those that don't know how to read, please don't be ashamed. Try to get into some kind of training program. They do have them. Google it up. Try to get into some kind of training program where you can learn to read. Because if you don't know how to read, you're lost in this world. You are lost in this world. There are lots of people that I grew up with that I know that they don't know how to read. They're older now and stuff like that. But it's not good. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to read. Especially if you living by yourself, and you out in the street and stuff. You need to read the signs. You need to read you need to know how to cross the street. The signs say walk, and then they say don't walk. You need to know that. You know what I'm saying? But some of them that don't know how to read, they go from memory. They go by memory, because they see the red is for don't walk and the green is for walk. They'll go from memory with that. But you still need to know how to read and write. A lot don't know how to write. I am dead serious. And this is all over the world. A lot of people don't know how to read or write. And it's nothing for you to be ashamed of. This is 2025, folks. And you need to know how to do those things. I am dead serious. You don't have to be smart in math. You don't have to be smart in nothing. You just need to know the techniques. You need to learn how to read. You can start out by reading a little baby book. You see how little kids start out? Well, those grown-ups that don't know how to read and write, you need to start out like that. I am not trying to shame or bash anyone, but there are a lot of people here in the United States and abroad, on the islands, other countries, that don't know how to read and write. I have some folks in my family that I know that don't know how to read and write. I was told. They act as though they know what they're doing, but if you put a page to them or something, you will see how much they know how to read or write. They wouldn't do it. They'll find excuses not to look at it or whatever. But they know money. They know money. You know what I'm saying? They know money. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. You just didn't get the chance to go to school when you were younger. But you got older now. Over the years, you could have tried to get into some kind of program. But as I said, people are ashamed and they're embarrassed, especially when they're older. They don't want others to know that they don't know how to read or write. You know what I'm saying? They have some basketball players that don't know how to read or write. They know how to play the game, but they don't know how to read and write. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just try to get into some kind of program. You know what I'm saying? Try to get into some kind of program. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're never too old to learn. It's just like the computer. I wasn't brought up around the computer era and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot about the computer, but I sure am trying to learn. I'm not ashamed. And if anyone approaches me about the computer or something and I don't know something, I come right in and tell them, I'm not really, I don't really know too much about the computer. I come straight out and tell them that. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really know too much about the computer, but I'm trying to learn. I have a laptop here in my house. When I was in New York, I had gotten a computer for my daughter, you know. My daughter knows it fluently. My grandkids do. But you see, they grew up in that era, you know what I'm saying? So they would grasp it even more and better. But they have people that's my age that know it fluently. They practice every day. I used to act like I was afraid of the computer. I had it right there, but I act like I'm afraid of it. I still don't even use the one that I have. It's sitting in my closet, brand new. I use my phone because the phone has a computer on it too. So I feel more comfortable using the phone. But I still have to get into the habit of using the laptop that I have. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say that. I know how to read and write. I'm not a brainiac with math. I never liked math, but you need to know how to count your money and stuff like that. But you don't have to be a brainiac with math. I know the times table. I grew up learning that and stuff like that. I'm good with the English and stuff like that. That was always my favorite subject. And some sciences and stuff, well, I ain't gonna say they my favorite. And geography. But there's nothing wrong. You don't have to be ashamed. People, you don't have to be ashamed anymore. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be afraid. Just try, try, try. You don't want to leave this earth the way you came in. When you leave this earth, you want to know how to read and write and all of that kind of stuff. Like I said, none of us know where we're going to go the next turn around. So before you go, I know when you die, you can't talk or whatever, but I don't know where we go or what happens after. But wouldn't you want to leave this earth knowing that you learn how to read and write and do things that you couldn't do? You know what I'm saying? So just try your best. Try your best. That's all I'm saying. Try your best. Stop being afraid and all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of fear in me too. I have my license, but I'm scared to drive. I could drive a little, but I'm scared to drive. Lots of people say to me, but why are you scared to drive? You was in the military and you was this and you was that. That doesn't mean a damn thing. There's a lot of people out there that have license and they don't drive. They drive a little bit. Some got the license and they don't even drive at all. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. You know what I'm saying? I was never a person that was gutsy about jumping in a car and just going to drive. They have people that grew up around cars, grew up with cars around them, and they have some people that didn't grow up with cars around them. And some people are fascinated about driving and cars and all of that. I'm not one of those persons. I don't know how to ride a bike, and I'm not ashamed to say that. My dad used to try to teach me, but he taught me the wrong way. I said this in a video before. He put me on the bike, and then he'll just push it off on the bike. Excuse me. I fell. I would fall, and I would get a beating from him. I took the beatings because that wasn't no way to teach a child to ride a bike. My brother now, He learned because he didn't want to be in. He jumped on the bike and he just went. But of course he's a boy. Or if you are a girl and you're a tomboy, of course you're gonna jump on a bike and just go. Whether you fall or not, you're gonna get up and go. So you see, everybody has fear in them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to swim. And I ain't trying to learn how to swim. My dad used to take me out into the sea, the ocean, all the way out where you can't stand. There's nothing to stand on. And he would let me go. I'm not saying that he was a bad father doing that. You know what I'm saying? Well, in my mind, I was saying that at the time. But I guess that was how he was taught. But you don't teach anyone how to swim like that. So I was going down, like drowning, you know what I'm saying? And then my mom, she saw what was happening and she yelled out at him and tell him, go get her, she's drowning, she's drowning. Then he ran out there and he grabbed me and he pulled me back in. Now that put even more fear in my heart. So I never even wanted to learn again. You know, I never wanted to learn. I didn't want to learn in the first place. All that water, all I'm thinking about is I'm going to drown, you know, fear. And you know, folks, people teach their babies how to swim. You know, they do them when they're young. That's good. To teach them when they're young. The funny thing, my granddaughters, they taught themselves how to swim. They know how to ride bike. They even know how to drive cars. Paige has her permit. But we don't let her mom, they don't let her drive out on the street like that, you know. The mom will go with her and the sister. She says she's not ready for the license right now, but you know, she's soon going to get that. She's 16 now, but she knows how to drive. I'm dead serious. And she knew this from, I think, when she was about probably 10 or 11. Her mom taught her, and the mom taught Skylar, and Skylar's 23, and she could drive very good. She's a very good driver. I am dead serious. My daughter used to say, Ma, they were younger than my mom. My daughter used to say, Ma, they gonna learn to drive before you. I said, well, that's okay. It doesn't matter. But you see, they parents drive. They had cars around them at their home. And you know, when I notice when you have vehicles in your home, you grew up with things like that, it gives you the urge to even want to do it even more. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with any of that. I didn't. I was like a sheltered child. I wasn't able to go play here and go play there or whatever, you know. Like I said, I raised up in like 3 different homes, and each one had different rules. And this was back in the islands, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. All I had to do was chores. All I was supposed to do was chores. Cleaning the animals, feeding the animals, helping out in the orchard, you know, cleaning the house, helping cook, set the table when I was at my aunt's house, one house. And you know, so that's why I have this cleaning habit in me. You know, I'm like a freak with cleaning, and I can cook. I'm not a chef, like I said, but I can cook. And, you know, that's embedded in me. But the main things that I should have known, I don't really know how to do, you know. So I'm a grown up now. Even before I got grown, I still wasn't interested in driving or riding a bike. I would drive you crazy, but I'm not really crazy about doing things like that. But you know, now I'm older now and everything, you know, I say to myself lots of times, I got the license, girl. You gotta get into this driving. You gotta get, because now I'm living in a place where lots of places you need to know how to drive, you know what I'm saying? And the weirdest thing about it, what if you're driving in a car with someone and this person happened to get sick of something? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? I think that I would take the wheel and go. I think if something like that happened, I think I would do it. Remember, I said I know how to drive, but I'm just afraid to do it. But if there was an emergency, I bet you by golly, this brain of mine is going to switch and I will do the do. I'm dead serious. So, folks, stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. I'm saying it to myself too. And my friend always telling me that. You know, he's always telling me it's just that you're afraid. You have to get that out of you. And I'm going to prove to him, because one time he took me out when I went to visit him. He took me out to drive, you know, and I was driving. He took me out like in a, what you call that? It was a stadium, but it wasn't in use. And he took me out there and I was driving. This is like, I think 3 years ago. And I was driving. I followed what he told me and I was driving. He was sitting next to me, but I was driving. I told him, I need to be on the road with the cars. He said, no, you're not ready. No, you're not ready. If he had took me out with the cars, maybe the fear would have went away. But he didn't want to take me out there because he felt I wasn't ready. So I never think. While he was here visiting me, the first time he told me, he said, "You want to drive?" This is when he had the Tesla, because the last time he was here, he had his his Mercedes Benz. He wanted me to get behind the Tesla. That's electric, and it drives by itself. I was scared because, first of all, it's not my vehicle. I don't want nothing to happen because it's going to freak me out. And then I'll be like, oh my God, now I got to give him money to pay for this and all of that. You know, it's not the point that I have to give money for the damages, but just to know that I did it, it would hurt me so much. So that's why I'm afraid to get into people's cars, especially when they say, get in, just go and drive. No, I'm not going to do that. I am not. Some people would, but I am not. Next thing you're gonna hear, po coming up behind you. Next thing you lose your license. No, I can't do that. I just can't do that. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm not paying no driving school to learn how to drive because I got lessons before. I just need to be on the street where traffic is actually moving, not fast, but moving, and I'll be good to go. I know how to park. Yeah. And like he told me, I have to just, and my granddaughter too, you know, when you're driving, you have to worry about the next person hitting you. You see, my thing is I be worrying about this and worrying about that, you know. He said you have to concentrate on the road and just do what you got to do, you know. So one day I'm going to get the courage to actually do it. And I will let y'all see that I'm driving. And by the way, when I was visiting him, he had his first electric car was a BMW. It was very small. You know those two-seaters? It was blue and silver. That's the one that I was driving when I was visiting him 3 years ago. Because it's so small. And you know, my thing is, I rather maneuver in a small car. I don't, because when I see the big car, it scares me. But the small car, I don't have that much fear. But, you know, he has other cars, other vehicles and stuff like that. So, you know, he has been driving for years. But I like the way he teaches, you know, he don't yell and he don't scream or nothing like that. He's very patient. I cannot stand a person that yells and all this kind of stuff. You know, it freaks me out. It really does. So I rather deal with him teaching me, you know. So it's okay. But yeah, those of you that know how to read and write and stuff like that, don't be afraid. Just try to go and get into, see if you can get your granddaughter, your daughter, or your son, or somebody to help you sign up. They have free programs where you can sign up. I know in New York they do. So I'm quite sure they have to have them in other states or in the islands or something. So just don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Just tell somebody that in your household that you trust, that they know you don't know how to do it, and ask them kindly to take you to the place so you could sign up for the free training. You know what I'm saying? That's all. So I'm gonna end my video right now. I'm still listening to Janet Jackson, excuse me. And yeah, I didn't see Rihanna at the Met Gala, but you know, as I was looking through my phone, I saw her, you know, and she showed her baby bump. She looks well, she looks very good, dressed in her black and white and gray, her and her young man. So I'm just gonna wish her a safe pregnancy, you know, a safe delivery. So Riri, you just hang in there. Don't let nothing stress you out. All those rumors or whatever is going on, I don't know if they're true or not, allegedly, but whatever it is, you just hang in there. You don't want to lose this baby. You don't want this baby coming out deformed or nothing like that. So just hang in there. You hear? Just hang in there. And you and Mr. ASAP Rocky is going to be fine. And ASAP Rocky, if this is true, you need to keep your little beanie inside your pants and leave those young girls or whatever alone, allegedly. Stick with your woman. Stick with with Rihanna. You hear what I'm saying? Just cut all that BS out, allegedly. They even have a rumor saying that the baby that she's carrying is for Chris Brown, allegedly. I don't know where these people come up with all of this stuff. And when everything hit the fan, half of it is lies. Half of it is lies. Maybe someone is trying to break you and her up again, allegedly. But both of you, just stick together and believe in the Almighty, and y'all will fight any force that come your way. I guarantee you. Let all those haters continue to hate. They're going to hate so much until they start hating themselves. So I am going to end my video right now. Everyone have a beautiful Tuesday. Peace out.